Ghostface is probably one of the most recognizable horror icons of all time at this point, joining the likes of Jason, Freddy, Leatherface, Pinhead, Chucky, and so on. But the major difference between Ghostface and those other killers is that Ghostface isn't just one person. And while the whole mask and cloak and knife has outshined the people behind the mask, they're still interesting killers in their own right. So, this week, we're going to rank the killers behind the Scream series. Their personalities, their motives, and methods, and what makes a good Ghostface and what doesn't. Once again, spoilers ahead. Let's start from the bottom to the top.
Our own son.
Roman, Scream 3.
Roman Bridger, director. And brother.
These past two videos, I think I've explained enough about just what I found absolutely dumb about this dude's character, but I haven't mentioned just how little of the movie he's actually in. You want to know how I know his name was Roman? Wikipedia. If I didn't look it up, I would have been calling this dude the angry video game nerd this whole time. Now, I said it before, but I really hate it when movies do a villain that's been working from the shadows this whole time, that is a villain that's from the start of the series been behind everything. It just turns Scream 3 into a soap opera, basically. It's not fun. The voice changing machine, again, absolutely ludicrous. We all know why that voice changing machine sucks. His fake out death, lame. Even his real death is lame. All of it mounting up to be just a real disappointing reveal and a real disappointing climax to a Scream movie, in my opinion. Mickey, Scream 2.
Surprise, Sydney.
Now, I said it in a previous video, too, but while I do love Timothy Olyphant, great dude. In most everything he does, he's awesome. I just feel like this specific role was a bad fit for him. He doesn't fit the whole wild card of the killing duo type guy, and it comes off as him just doing a Matthew Lillard impression here, basically. If they made him more of like a Billy Loomis type, or just have him be himself, just be this like cool, suave type of dude who just happens to be crazy, it would have worked far better than him being just what they call him, like a Tarantino film student. Would have worked way better. That, and again, he's just barely in the movie enough to even make him be an actual suspect. But that's a problem all the Scream sequels have, I think. And his motivation is a bit far-fetched and all, but I do like the mind game he plays with Sid when he reveals himself and making her believe that her boyfriend was also part of everything. It's a very, very cool mind game to play with someone. But other than that, that's really it.
4 years of classes together, and you notice me now?
Charlie, Scream 4.
It's too late.
He's a fucking incel. Ghostface is an incel. He's a fucking pissy, whiny little white boy who can't take rejection well. Makes perfect sense to me. Like, of course he is. Look at him. That's exactly the dude you'd suspect. Which is why he's so low on the list. I knew it was him. Literally, the first time I saw Scream 4, I was like, it's the Culkin. It's him. It's one of the Culkins. Of course it's one of the Culkins. One of the Culkins is definitely the killer. And they try to make him like this new era Randy type character with him and his friend knowing all the rules of modern horror. But he also just looks like that. That's just how he looks. At least with the other Screams, there were other possibilities. But in this one, like, it's like, oh, it's definitely him. Not to say he's a bad character. It's actually the most logical dude to be a killer and all, of course. I just wish his motivation wasn't so lame. And of course he dies because he was into a girl too much. Classic Ghostface, actually, now that I think about it. Classic. Real typical Ghostface shit. Always... Never mind. Next one.
Mrs. Loomis?
Mrs. Loomis.
What?
Scream 2.
Billy's mother.
Billy's mother. Sorry, I had to do that. Anyway, I think this fake out of a reveal is a bit of a double-edged sword. Because her being in the whole movie, constantly interacting with other characters, kind of subtracts from that twist. How did nobody but Sid notice that it was Billy's mom? I know she says, oh, she lost weight, had some work done. But how did Gail not notice? Gail, the person that Mrs. Loomis interacts with the most. Gail, the reporter. Gail, the person who literally wrote the book on the first movie. You would think she knows Mrs. Loomis and how Mrs. Loomis looks at that point. But she doesn't. It kind of bothers me, to be honest. And why did Mrs. Loomis feel the need to have Mickey help her out? She didn't need to do that. She could have done all of this by herself and nobody would have suspected her, I think. That all being said, I love Laurie Metcalf's performance in this movie. Even before the reveal, her being this little snaky reporter trying to usurp Gail from being like, you know, getting a scoop on stuff. It's great. And she really channels her inner Pamela Voorhees when she's revealed to be the killer. It's a perfect crazy eyes. She's got crazy eyes, dude, to the max. And she's crazy rambling. And she's got the funniest goddamn death face in the whole series, in my opinion. I can't even do it. I don't know how she did. I don't know how she did it. It's hilarious to me. Jill. Scream 4.
Hello, Sydney. Surprised?
Plenty of folks have issues with Jill's motive in this one, but I mean, it's fucked up that I kind of think it could really happen. Like somebody definitely, some fame-hungry kid right now is definitely capable of doing this. And it's so hard not to sound like an old man saying like, nowadays kids will do anything for fame, but you know, because that's all partially Mickey's motive as well, all the way back in Scream 3 in like 2000. But the reason I love Jill's plan is because she realizes how important the final girl is in the whole equation. All right, everyone's focused on being the killer and nobody focused on being the final girl except for her. She really is like a mirror version of Sid. She's an evil Sid in every way, which is much more interesting to me than a long lost brother or like another psycho that's into scary movies. She's so personally impersonal about it all, because even though it is, you've seen the movie, we all know she's a great character, and she could have been, you know, she could have been in the movie a bit more, to be honest. Even like, especially after her reveal, I think we needed to get a bit more into that whole psychology of her. It's really interesting, and it could have been really amazing if she got more time.
Stu's flipped out. He's gone mad.
Billy Loomis, Scream.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
No, Billy!
You can't get more 90s bad boy than Billy Loomis. Hair greasier than his personality and never speaking above a mumbled whisper. And I think that the other Screams were really missing a charismatic type of killer like Billy. And they really focused a bit too much on the whole, like, let's find an unobvious suspect. Let's find somebody that they least expect, instead of making a good character to go along with that, which is Billy Loomis. Granted, we all knew it was Billy. I mean, again, look at him. But the fake death was a good literal red herring. Good stuff. His motive, bit lame. But his whole mastermind personality, once he's revealed, perfectly slimy, perfectly mean and evil in a way that I think the other movies don't reach. They don't match Billy Loomis's vibe. And I think the other movies suffer for that, unfortunately. Stu! Scream!
Surprise, Sydney.
Look, man, I just love performances where the actor just goes all the fucking way in on it. It's why I love Nicolas Cage movies, and it's why I think we all love this perfectly wacky ass Matthew Lillard performance. Matthew Lillard doing God's work. He's a true, just absolute wild card, just killing for the fun of it, just to go along with the ride with Billy Loomis, his boyfriend. I mean, we all seen the picture. Come on. And he starts the movie at like a 5, which is a lot. And by the end of it, he's at a fucking 20. And he's spitting and drooling with every fucking sentence, and he's so happy doing it. He's just so ecstatic to finally reveal himself. And then once the tables are turned, like after he's stabbed and bleeding all over the place, and Sid has the upper hand, he becomes this like little sniffing little teenage boy. And it's just a perfect character choice for him. The fucking lines he gets, a little woozy here. And my parents are gonna be so mad at me. So perfect, like so perfect to show his unraveling, and he's become such a fan favorite for these reasons. They just don't make crazy teenage boys like they used to, do they? So that's all my rankings of the killers from Scream, all the ghost faces. Which one's your favorite ghost face? Which is your favorite horror icon in general? Mine's Ghostface, obviously, but a close second, I think, would be, probably Chucky or Jason. They might be tied. But yeah, leave in the comments. And next week, it's the last HALLOW-SCREAM, and I'm going to be taking a look, and I'm going to be ranking every single kill in the Scream franchise. It's a lot. This took me a while. Granted, half of the kills in Scream is somebody getting stabbed in the back, but still, it took me a while to really rank these, so I think it'll be a fun vid. So yeah, happy HALLOW-SCREAM, and see you next week.